Look, the bill, as the Senate has written it, is dead on arrival. And I made that very clear the other day when the language came out. But here's the reality of this situation that I think many of my Senate colleagues failed to recognize. At the end of the day, the cap on salt was nothing more than a pay for back in 2017. And it paid for most of the provisions of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. It here again is being used as a pay for by not going back to unlimited. It's paying for the doubling of the standard deduction. It's paying for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, the expanded child tax credit, among other key provisions, including business tax credits. And we understand that is all part of a negotiation. It's all part of having a tax bill that actually provides real tax relief to the middle class, to the working class. This is not about the billionaires or the millionaires. That's why we agreed to a $40,000 salt cap with a $500,000 income cap. That was a hard-fought, good faith negotiation that we entered into, despite efforts to roll us. And we came to an agreement with the White House and with House leadership. We are not going back on that agreement. And I think what the Senate needs to recognize, they can make changes, they can enter into negotiations, but the fact is you need 218 votes to pass this in the House. And there is not a chance in hell that this bill will pass at $10,000, let alone less than $40,000.
So it's anything under 40 is I know you've got to talk tough on this because you hear it off the air from Republican members that the SALT guys in New York, they knew they were negotiating. They went for 40 knowing it was going to come in at 30, as the House Ways and Means Committee said. You're a no on 30,000, right?
No, if we were going to accept 30, we would just accept 30. That is a no. And I guess people want to try and call our bluff. They tried that in the House. They tried to jam us, and we didn't fold. And we're not going to fold here. We're not trying to stop the bill. We are making the point that this was a good faith negotiation. This is the agreement, and this is what the final number is going to be. And I would just remind everybody, you look at 10,000. This isn't just about blue states. First of all, SALT applies to everybody. It's not just particular to New York or California or New Jersey. But second of all, 29 states blew past the $10,000 cap with the average SALT tax burden over the past 7 years. So, leaving it at 10,000 will be a crushing blow to middle class and working class families all throughout this country. And if the objective is to provide real tax relief and grow the economy and allow for people to invest in jobs and businesses and in the stock market, then having a real SALT cap that we can provide tax relief with is vital. And we're not going to cave on this. We're not.
Well,
so this is obviously something.
Your point's taken. I just wonder, how do you fix it? How do you fix it, Congressman? Does this go to a conference committee? Does Mike Johnson have to carry this water for you? How do you get it back to 40?
Well, look, we're still talking to senators. We're going to have a conversation today. And I'm speaking with the speaker. And the speaker certainly understands our position. He agrees with us, even if he doesn't fully support SALT. He understands how important this is to passage of the bill. Yeah. And this is just the reality of government. You're not going to get everything you want, and you have to negotiate. We negotiated. This was the agreement. And whether the Senate likes it or not, this is going to be the number.
I want to tick through a couple of other important items with you while we have you, Congressman, because you serve as well on the Committee on Foreign Affairs in the House. Where's your gut as, in many cases, Republicans argue with Republicans about what President Trump should do right now in Iran? I know you support Israel's right to defend itself, but do we need to put American B-2 bombers in the air to help finish the job?
I don't think there's any question about that. I think Israel obviously has made tremendous strides over the last few days and really speaks volumes to their military prowess and intelligence. But ultimately, to get the job done, I don't think there's any question, the U.S. is going to have to be engaged. I'm not advocating for troops on the ground. I'm not advocating for regime change. The bottom line is Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. President Trump has made that clear for years. Republicans and Democrats, both prior presidents and in Congress, have made that clear for years. The time has come. And ultimately, we need to finish the job. They cannot have a nuclear program. They have shown a willingness to use ballistic missiles targeted at civilian populations with the express intent of killing Jews and eradicating the state of Israel. Folks have to remember, there are 700,000 Americans that are dual citizens and live in Israel, at least part-time, if not full-time. These are Americans on the ground in Israel being attacked. We have 40,000 troops in the region under threat of attack. We have to make sure that this threat is eliminated. Ultimately, a weakened Iran, a denuclearized Iran, is the best hope for the Iranian people to rise up and reclaim their government. That will be their choice. That is not a choice for the United States or Israel or anyone else. But it will give the best opportunity for that to happen. And in doing so, will give the best opportunity for peace and prosperity in the Middle East for years to come.
Wow. The time has come, says Congressman Mike Lawler. If our involvement offensively was limited to a series of strikes, as we've heard referred to, against these nuclear enrichment sites and no more, would you be comfortable with President Trump conducting this on his own, or does Congress need to have a say?
Yes, I would be comfortable with the president making that determination. Obviously, in years past, presidents from both parties have made these determinations in limited strikes without getting congressional approval to do so in that moment. And certainly, if that is the decision that is made for the express purpose of eliminating Iran's nuclear capabilities, I fully support it.
Lastly, Congressman, from your perch on financial services, you're wishing there was a rate cut coming today. I'm guessing there's not going to be one. How concerned are you that Jay Powell, as Donald Trump says, is too late?
Look, despite Jay Powell's many predictions over the years, many of which have turned out to be wrong or late to the ball game, the fact is the economy is in a very strong position. Inflation has come down. The economy is growing. And ultimately, I think when we pass the tax bill, you get deregulation into effect, you increase domestic production of energy, you bring these conflicts to an end and normalize relations and expand trade, the economy is going to take off dramatically. And I think this is something where the Fed should be looking to ease tensions to start to bring down interest rates, which is vital to economic growth. And I certainly believe that it's time to bring the rates down. I think the predictions over the last 2 months tied to the tariffs have not borne out the way many in the media and Democrats have speculated. And so I do think it is time for these rates to come down.